Jurassic World Evolution 3 was just recently announced and the hype is palpable. But with the development of this brand new title to the series of Jurassic games comes plenty of criticisms and worries as well. So let's discuss them. Good morning, everyone. This is Duder and welcome back to the Den. And oh my lord, am I excited for the new Jurassic World Evolution title. This looks incredible. We have new babies, new nesting mechanics, we have sexual dimorphism, and possible genetic inheritance mechanics, which is really exciting. We have new building tools, new terrain tools, biome brushes, decorations. We have this whole new deep water and swimming dinosaurs, walking pterosaurs, which, is a very nice creature comfort right there. We have tons of new social animations and parental behaviors when it comes to the babies and their parents and to babies. We have the whole modular building in the Frontier Workshop. This thing looks incredible. I am so excited about it. It really does seem like Frontier took a lot of the criticisms that we had with the first two games, a lot of the sort of shortcomings that the first two games had, and just sort of streamlined them, and they very much listened to the community, and I really like seeing that in the actual franchise of games itself. I think it's really awesome that they're listening to the community and just giving back to us what we really wanted. Now, Twitter has been quite the buzz with this title, as it usually always is. And I've seen a lot of hype and a lot of praising for it, as I've just, spieled on about. I've also seen a lot of criticisms for it. One of them being is that the dimorphism kind of looks a bit goofy. That Triceratops certainly reminds me of a certain Ice Age character that I will not go into. Some of the DLC species from the second game, the previous title, they're locked behind a paywall already. Concavenator and the Thanatodracon. I have a hard time saying that one. They're already locked behind a paywall, which doesn't really, it doesn't sit well with me, but at the same time, I do have to sort of take into account that Frontier is a large game company after all. They are a business. They need to make money somehow. I will say though that holy shit, the price tag. I mean, it's not Nintendo at the moment, but certainly my part-time job income will take a little bit of a hit from that. But I've already made peace with the fact that I'm going to be dropping the 75, which I believe is actually the lowest out of all the currencies that it's available for. I believe the British pound and the euro are higher in pricing, equivalents overall. So I guess we're still making out good there. Sorry to the rest of the world, and to all my friends across the seas and whatnot. But yeah, the price is a little steep, but I think at the moment the market is very much struggling when it comes to pricing. And these big developer titles are gonna show that, so it's to be expected. But yeah, I am kind of unhappy with the whole DLC already locked behind a paywall that we already had in the first game. If you were to get a DLC, for the deluxe edition, I would expect maybe 4 new species instead of just 2. But at the end of the day, I can't complain too much. We're still getting a ton of amazing stuff from the game itself. But I will say that, it's not cool to have semi or slightly predatory business tactics in the game itself, or the game's launch itself already. But I will say Guanlong and Protoceratops look phenomenal. Frontier always really does a good job when it comes to the sort of, extracurricular, we can call it, species of dinosaurs. Most of the time they do really well. I'm a big fan of a lot of the Frontier designs. I know a lot of people don't like them. A lot of people don't like the colorization, but I kind of vibe with it. You know, I don't think it's that bad. But anyways, so another thing is that seemingly the roster itself was cut down by at least 30 different species. Now, we've seen that with the first to second game. There was a cut of species, but still it wasn't as drastic as this one was. I don't believe it was, at least. But, you know, I think that's to be expected because we're getting just so much on launch. They basically just uprooted the entire game and gave us essentially a new style of the same game with the same sort of coat of paint on it. Jurassic World Evolution and Jurassic World Evolution 2 are very rigid, and I think that's just because they were pushed to be on not just the computer but also on old gen consoles. Now that we don't have that limitation, we don't really need to be constrained that much anymore. So I do think that even though the roster is going to get cut by quite a bit, eventually it'll be back up to snuff, if not more so. I think that they're going to be planning very much a Planet Zoo style of here's another DLC, here's another DLC, here's another DLC, and just keep on pumping out more and more content. I think that the longevity of this game is going to be a hell of a lot more than Jurassic World Evolution 2 ever was. Jurassic World Evolution 2 kept going higher and higher and higher, and then it seemed to kind of just plateau and then kind of drop off. I mean, like, and I love the games themselves, but I haven't touched Jurassic World Evolution 2 in a hot minute, because once you do a lot of what's in the game, there's really not that much that you want to do because you're so limited, at least in my opinion. But yeah, let's see. There's also the whole aspect of AI generated faces and stuff using AI itself. Now, it's not this. They're using, like, I believe it's Midjourney or something like that, where it's just going to be generating fake people, which is fine, I suppose. I mean, like, obviously they're going to need to expedite some labor, some production costs to sort of focus more on the other aspects of the game itself. So I'm fine with that. It doesn't sit well with me at all. I hate AI for multiple different reasons, and obviously, one of them being that they take away a lot of different jobs, and it's very bad for the environment. There's a lot that's wrong with AI. But I don't blame Frontier for utilizing the tool at hand. It is kind of lame that they did that, but I think overall it's not going to be that bad of an issue. I think if they keep it to that very small footprint within the game itself, where it's just that one aspect of, like, creating faces of procedurally generated people, I think that they'll be pushing it, but I think it'll be okay. But yeah, if they do anything else with the AI, I'm really not vibing with that. Now, one thing that I haven't been seeing a lot of people talk about is the idea that we're most likely not going to get any sort of intra-specific interactions between different species of animals. The last two games have really not had that big of a good of a track record when it comes to different animals really interacting with each other, other than just sort of them looking at each other and maybe roaring every now and again, or maybe herding together. Most of the time, most of the special animations are going to be between two members of the same species, which I can understand, but I really think that next level of immersion would really help. Even if it's just, you could probably even do it with the same rig, like a Styracosaurus and a Pseudoceratops sort of, playing out the same animation as maybe two Triceratopses would be, or two other Ceratopsians. You have a Ceratopsian rig animation, you have a Hadrosaur rig animation, and they can sort of pop and swap. I think that'd be a really cool addition, but that's more of a wish list thing than anything else. With that, though, I don't know if we're going to get any sort of combat system update. The combat system in Jurassic World Evolution and Jurassic World Evolution 2 is not the best. The same with the hunting system as well. It did get better towards the latter half of Jurassic World Evolution 2's lifespan, but still, it's not incredible, and I don't think that they really focused too much on that because they were more focusing on the new building mechanics, the breeding, and of course the babies. So I don't know if we're going to get anything like that. As of right now, it doesn't look like we are, but you know, more future information could come out and could prove me wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong on that, so we'll have to wait and see when it comes to that. But yeah, aside from that though, one thing that I really wanted to address, the elephant in the room, is where this sort of release of Jurassic World Evolution 3 plays into the whole idea of it destroying or sort of killing the market when it comes to things like Prehistoric Kingdom. I don't think that Jurassic World Evolution 3 is going to be killing Prehistoric Kingdom. Like I said, it doesn't seem that Jurassic World Evolution 3 has any in-depth social behaviors, and most of the time, like even the building mechanics that we are getting, I don't think that the building mechanics are as in-depth as, say, Prehistoric Kingdoms are. So I think there's enough separation between the two there to sort of already justify them not really encroaching on each other too much. I mean, they're both obviously dinosaur park builder games, so there is that level of overlap between them and that level of encroachment between the two. But Prehistoric Kingdom seems to be going down the road of more of like a zoo manager sim as opposed to Jurassic World Evolution's amusement park manager sim. So like Jurassic World Evolution has attractions. Like, we're getting a balloon tour. Finally, holy shit. Like, oh my god, it's incredible. I love that. I love that very, very much as a classic JPOG, believer, holy hell. That's phenomenal. But we have the attractions, we have the mechanics such as the 3 divisions, the scientists, and the marketplace, which is coming in the new game. Whereas Prehistoric Kingdom seems to focus more on guest education and enrichment, a keeper and worker and maintenance worker, like sort of mechanics, like you have to hire, you have to assign keepers, a lot more like that Zoo Tycoon kind of scenario. As well as stuff like animal welfare, animal care, and husbandry, and like enrichment. So I don't think that it's Prehistoric Kingdom seems to be focusing more on the micro scale, quote unquote micro scale, of a zoo manager, whereas Jurassic World Evolution seems to be focusing more on the macro scale of an amusement park manager. Prehistoric Kingdom presents like an outlet for those who want to focus more on paleo accuracy and zoological care and like research simulation as well. So it's not the same, I would say, as Jurassic World Evolution. That one's more of like a franchise appeal, theme park, tycoon, and attraction-based management. Even down to like the animals themselves. Jurassic World Evolution 2 and Jurassic World Evolution 3 seems to focus more on the broader aspects of like, they both have genetic systems, obviously, but with Jurassic World Evolution, it seems that it's not as in-depth as, say, Prehistoric Kingdoms, where you're able to go through and even sort of edit the skin tone, the actual skin that the animal is going to represent, the size of the animal, the gender, the sort of dimorphism, the stages of the animal. You're able to do all of that in Prehistoric Kingdom, whereas in what it seems like in Jurassic World Evolution 2 seems to just be you're able to address the skin pattern, the skin color a bit, and then the overall, the sex of the individual, whether it's a male or a female. So there's that little level of sort of intimate interaction that Prehistoric Kingdom gives to you that I think Jurassic World Evolution sort of steers away from in order to focus more on the broader park building aspects of the game. Now, again, this is coming, in tandem with without a release, so I don't know per se if this will change upon release itself, but what it seems to be right now is that Prehistoric Kingdom seems to be focusing more on the paleo accurate side of things and really getting intimate with both the management of the zoo itself and the management, upkeep, enrichment, stimulus, and the care of each individual animal. Jurassic World Evolution 2 seems to be doing the opposite of that, where it's focusing more on the animals overall in these big, broad sort of groups, and sort of focusing more on the park attractions themselves and the park management aspect of it. Both are great. Both have endless amounts of fun, it seems, in them, but both are appealing to different audiences as well. In order to stand out more, though, I think that Prehistoric Kingdom, if it turns out that they do encroach a bit more on each other, with more updates coming out as the game develops and as we get closer to release in October, Prehistoric Kingdom could focus more on interspecific species interactions, things like, T-Rexes and Tarbosaurus interacting, Torvosaurus and Allosaurus interacting, that sort of thing, where it's different species will be interacting with one another. I think that level of immersion would take it to the next step, because you don't really see that in a lot of park management simulation, games. Obviously, probably because it takes a lot of work, but I still think that it could really, really help with the overall identity of the game itself. Another thing is like maybe more animations and more focus on things like how these animals interact with their environments. Things like, different species, different dinosaurs sort of interacting with things like trees or rocks or digging in the ground, building their own nests, that sort of thing. I think that presenting more and more natural behaviors would really help Prehistoric Kingdom stand out, and also would help Prehistoric Kingdom reinforce its identity of sort of like this more of an education tool to bring to life these prehistoric animals, rather than a theatric tool that Jurassic World Evolution seems to be, where it's focusing more on the franchise appeal of these movie monster dinosaur versions. Perhaps, maybe even going into the whole hunting mechanics. Jurassic World Evolution, again, has always really lacked and struggled when it came to fighting and hunting, something that Prehistoric Kingdom may take up, especially from what I've seen from the devlogs. It looks like they're already doing that, which is really, really exciting. I can't wait to see the threat displays and different interactions between different animals. I think that's going to be really, really, really cool to watch take place in game. Maybe even interacting with different items as well when it comes to things like scratching posts or toys, or pools, that kind of thing. Again, all just sort of speculation and hyperbole. I think that at the end of the day, both are incredible games, and upon release, the full release at least, both are going to be a blast to play with, and most likely will have a ton of longevity surrounding it. Both seem to be able to support modding. I know Jurassic World Evolution modding is a bit more difficult, but with Prehistoric Kingdom, they have been very adamant and open about the idea of modding the game and having it being open to mods and community submissions and things like that. Both, I think will have a very long lifespan, and I'm really excited to see what comes of it. But what do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Are you guys as hyped as I am for the new game? Jurassic June is still in full swing. We're getting closer and closer to Jurassic World release, and I am so looking forward to that. If you liked the video, please, like, comment, and subscribe, share it around. If you like the artwork in the video, you can follow me on my socials, X, Instagram, Tumblr, and DeviantArt. That's where I post all of my artwork. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you'd like me to talk about next, if anything. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for stopping by the den, guys. Have a good day.